Hello, and welcome to Rough Edges Podcast with Sarah I. Fox. In this podcast, I will guide you through my faith and mental health journey to dispel the stigma surrounding mental illness and to create an empowering resource for those who wish to discover more about these topics. I pray that this podcast will not only bless you, but that it will bring growth and healing to our communities. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very different episode of Rough Edges. This episode is going to be all about the Barbie movie because I literally just saw it and I couldn't even wait to get home to talk about it and get my good equipment. So if you hear some noise in the background, it's because I'm still in the theater and I'm super duper excited to talk about this movie. So really quick thoughts. I was basically going to see this movie because I grew up with Barbie my entire life. I had all the Barbie dolls. My mom, she also loved Barbies, so Barbies were in the budget. If I wanted a Barbie doll, I would get one, and it was so amazing. And it didn't stop there. I watched all the animated movies of Barbie, Princess and the Pauper, Mariposa, Fairytopia. And I also had some Barbie books, which were vintage. And my neighbor gave it to me because she knew how much I loved Barbie. And her daughter had the Barbie books. And so it was just amazing. And so to see this movie and to just be a part of this, just cultural aspect of what this movie represents, not only for girls, but also for women. And it was incredible to actually see this on the big screen. And I am just so ecstatic to share my thoughts about this. Hello, everyone. So as you heard in the intro, which was recorded in the theater, so my apologies for the audio, but as you heard, I am going to be discussing my thoughts about the Barbie movie that came out recently. And I want you guys to know before you continue that this is a spoiler-free review. So feel free to listen to this podcast episode before you watch the movie, or vice versa. If you feel more comfortable watching the movie to appreciate and understand the points a little bit better, that's fine. But I just wanted to say that this is spoiler free, so feel free to listen and enjoy. Hello, guys. So as you can tell by the intro, I was in the theater about to record my thoughts on the Barbie movie, but then I decided, you know what? I really want this audio to be good, and I didn't really feel too comfortable speaking about my thoughts in a crowded movie theater, so here I am at home, 10 p.m., almost 11 p.m., talking about this movie, and it is amazing. And I know I said I was on hiatus, but Barbie made me break protocol because it was such an amazing movie. Initially, I didn't know what to expect. I saw the trailers, I saw everything, and initially thought that this was going to be a very campy movie. I thought it was going to be a satirical kind of take on feminism and womanhood. And in some aspects it was, but also it knew how to balance those themes really well. And another fear that I had was that Barbie was going to spend way too much time in the real world. And to my surprise, the movie knew how to juggle that as well. So I was very pleased with that. And one thing that the Barbie movie does really well is discuss womanhood in a way that's not pandering to feminism, but also in a way that doesn't discredit men and what they can do. And it also puts a lot of emphasis on the more vulnerable and feminine aspects of being a woman. And what I loved about that is that it just really talked about a lot of good things. It talked about just the pressure that women are under, just the crazy amount of perfectionism that it takes to be a woman in this world. And I really loved how they displayed that aspects, and they did it in very creative ways, which I'm not going to spoil. This is a spoiler free review, by the way. I'm sorry I didn't mention that in the beginning. I'll put another disclaimer at the beginning. But I just really want to get my thoughts about this movie out. But anyway, I really loved how this movie elevated women and also kind of uplifted men, which brings me to my next topic, which is Ken. And let me tell you, ironically, for me, Ken was the best part of this movie. Like, his character arc going from being mainly just Barbie's sidekick into his own real identity. And I'm not going to spoil how he gets there, but it was just an amazing aspect of the movie for me. And I just loved how they explored Ken's development in a way that showed that men and women could kind of come together. And I just really loved the way that they displayed that. And that brings me to my next point, which is all about vulnerability and the essence of humanity. And I'm not going to lie, when I saw a particular part of the movie, I was tearing up because it shows that it's okay to be human. It's okay to want to make mistakes, or it's okay to make mistakes. I mean, it's okay to want to take the pressure off of yourself and not have to be this perfect, strong woman all the time. And especially with the themes of just the episodes that I've spoken about previously, it's okay to be vulnerable as a woman. Like, we don't have to pressure ourselves to be superwoman, to have it all together, to hold it all together. And we don't have to succumb to the insecurities and the societal pressures that are placed upon us to be this persona of strong femininity. And it's just not realistic. And I love how the movie takes a moment to acknowledge that. And it also takes a moment to elevate the essence of what it means to be human and what it means to be a woman in a world where it's kind of a double standard and a very contradictory standard as well. And I also love how this movie handled satire. I mean, there are so many jokes. Like, this movie is so clever, and it just elevates the script so much more because the way that a lot of scenes play out, it is just endless laughter. Like, I enjoyed myself so much while watching this movie. And I just love how it balanced the tone of Barbie and also real human experiences. And which brings me to my, well, final point, really, about just the importance of breaking the stigma of the strong woman and pressuring ourselves to be perfect. And I really love that the movie focuses on that. And that's what really led me to talk about this movie. Because initially, I wasn't really going to talk about it. It was just oh, let me go see the movie just for fun type of thing. But after seeing the movie and after seeing, just the level of care and attention to detail that these topics were brought up in the movie and just were brought about, I really, really, really enjoyed just the display of what vulnerability can do for a person. And I also loved the dismantling of the strong woman or the strong superwoman who could do anything and be anything,